Blog Talk Radio.
Up there is my father's house. Yeah, it's the father's house. Y'all don't know the father's house? Come on.
Come on. Welcome to Father's House here on a Friday evening, man. I always like my Fridays, man.
I'm doing well. Pastor Leroy and I talked before the show, but before we go on, message is a serious message. So we better get down and have a little fun to start with.
Get down.
I got
an oldie but a goodie there, yeah. Pastor Kent. And I'm looking in the chat room here, and somebody's telling me, rest in peace, Leroy. Jeff got to him. Jeff will never, ever, under any circumstances, get to me. And we're going to take care of that problem right away. Anyway, I want to welcome y'all to Father's House tonight. I want to, first off, before we get into the topic of the evening, number one, I want to wish my brother, Pastor Kent, a very happy birthday on Monday. Pastor Kent will be, I believe it's birthday number 58 for Pastor Kent on Monday. We will have a Sunday celebration with Doctrine and with him on Sunday night. Kent don't even know about that, but that's in the process of being done, my brother. I also want to say, I got to give props to my brother, Pastor Kent, okay? This man called me earlier today, and he said that God told him to call me because I was having a bad day. And he gave me a prayer. This is the kind of man Pastor Kent is. And I appreciate that, Pastor Kent. I want you to know that, my brother.
I'm just doing God's work. I'm just the vessel.
You're the man. So here's what we got going on tonight. I want to explain why I put this up earlier. I'm just looking at the chat room here.
So we are going to look in the book of Revelations.
I understand that, but I want this all to get out tonight because this is a really important message, man. So, yeah, I'll put you on a 25-minute time limit. You're the man, please.
Your soul is damned to hell. So-called hell. But if you've never been to hell or you've never heard the versions of hell, there's wailing and gnashing of teeth and crying and people. So a fourth of the earth is going to be destroyed by war, by famine, by disease, and wild beasts. Now, these beasts, man, when you see these things, man, they have a horse's head, they have wings, they're going to rip you apart, and they're going to destroy you. They're going to kill you by tearing you to bits. If you've ever been attacked by an animal or by a beast, you know how brutal that can be. It's ugly. And it is not fun at all. It's scary. It's fearful. It's horrendous. It's one of the most scariest things you can ever see. Fear. Scared. No hope. Destitute. Everyone and his dog running for cover. We do have callers. If you'd like to be added to the conversation, please press 1. And again, we will not be bringing on 111 callers. I can make sure you're not there. So, now, good, Mike is here. Brothers and sisters, I would like to hear Pastor Leroy's take on this.
Well, you know, the reason I brought this up, Pastor Ken, this film really moved me earlier today. And again, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it after our show tonight with my other daughter because she's going to come over and we're going to watch it here. Now, first off, I want to say that the star of this film was Dave Bautista from the World Wrestling Federation, and he did a phenomenal job as the leader of the Four Horsemen. And Dave Bautista kind of reminds me of my buddy J-Bo. He talks like him, he looks like him, and if J-Bo, if you're out there tonight, man, I'd love for you to call in. Now the movie is phenomenal in the sense that it is very true to the book of Revelation. And when I saw Batista acting in this as the leader of the pack, I was blown away. Phenomenal job, man. And he does, it's called, Farrar, I know you're in the chat, it's called Knock at the Cabin. And it's by M. Night. I would recommend that you totally watch it because it really is an awesome movie. And I'm going to bring on 857. This is my brother J-Bo, who I think looks and talks just like Batista in this film. J-Bo, my brother, you know I love you. Welcome to Father's House.
Well, thank you for having me, Pastor Leroy and Pastor Kent and Pastor oh, sorry, wrong show. I thought Pastor Sam was there. My bad. You know, so all of this Horseman talk, all of this Batista talk, you know, if they were going to do a movie about the Horsemen and they were going to have Batista in there, he could have actually been one of the horses. That guy is huge.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, and Pastor Leroy will tell you sometimes I get off topic. So if I get off topic, just kind of rail me back in. Are the horsemen, the four horsemen, are they all in fact men, or are there some women mixed up in there?
No, there's the White Horseman that would be Batista. And then there's two women. There's a black woman and a white woman. And then there's the red-haired guy. So there's two women and two men.
Okay. So what kind of, and this is just me spitballing here, what kind of horses do you think that the horsemen actually ride?
In this film, they don't ride a horse. They come in. Batista shows up first. He talks to the little girl outside the cabin, tells her what's going to happen. They show up at the cabin, and the two guys who are the fathers, the two gay men who are married, that the fathers of the girl, will not let them in. They didn't ride in on horses. But they all had the same color. They all were wearing the same color of the horses that were in the Bible.
So would you say that they were like mantars, like half human, half horse?
Actually, no. They were humans that had feelings. They didn't want to do this. They were called to do this. They were called by God to do this.
Well, aside from the movie Horsemen, like let's say if the horsemen from the Bible, not from the movie, decide to rise up and cause the apocalypse or be a part of that. Do you think a majority of them would ride in on a thoroughbred or more like a Shire horse?
Pastor Ken, I'm going to give that to you, man. What do you think?
Well, for one, it doesn't specifically say what horse. I'm not going to interject what I feel in the Bible at all. So, it says a horse, it'll be a horse. It doesn't really matter what kind of horse it is. That's not the point. The point is...
Would it be like a Clydesdale?
The point is, it's not about the horse. It's about the rider. The horses represent something, but the rider is the one that you have to look at, not the horse.
So if I don't know if like a Shetland pony would be amongst, maybe if they came in there with a bunch of Percherons or Mengalarga Marchados.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, J-Bo, but we're going way off topic here. So anyway, we have other callers. We're going to bring Grover on. Grover, you're on.
Hey, this is Grover Washington. I was calling to talk about the four horsemen.
Yeah? What's about it?
They were really the running backs in Notre Dame, 1925. They won the Rose Bowl, and the coach was Newt Rockne, and they were really good running backs. And the funny thing about it was that they were all under 6 feet tall, and they had 3 running backs plus the quarterback in the backfield, and they ran all over everybody, went undefeated that year. They called them the Four Horsemen. I appreciate you bringing up the college football team. That's old school.
Well, again, you got it wrong. It's not about the Horsemen. What it's about is the Apocolypse. But that's okay.
I'm not wrong.
Thank you for calling. No. 909, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, this is Dominguez. This is the Caballo. I'm just calling because of Four Horsemen. You were talking about the horse. And I wanted to know what colors are they?
One is red. One is white.
I heard the gray one. I heard the gray one is really green because back in those days they didn't have a word for green. So when they say the gray horse, it's really a green horse. And it stands for Islam. Do you believe in that?
Nope, I don't. I don't believe the Bible ever gets it wrong. So
I was listening to a lot of pastors, and they were talking about the word gray. I mean, the word green wasn't around, and back in those days, so they used the word gray, but it really meant green.
I can't see that why God would get it wrong, but okay, you're allowed to believe that. Thanks for calling in. We've got callers too. We're really busy, so 317, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, this is Paul in Ottawa. I was calling about the horses. Did I hear you right that we have, because if we have to ride a horse to go to heaven, I have a problem with that because a lot of people fall off of horses and they break their neck. Do you remember Superman? He got paralyzed. Christopher Reeve, he fell off the horse. Well, why would God require that? I don't want to fall. Please don't yell.
It's not about us riding. Oh, my goodness. It's not about us riding the horse. It's about the horse, who it is, and what it represents. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I don't know, but I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. We're going to put on a song, and we're going to try and understand what it's about. And it's about him. It's not about the horse. It doesn't matter whether it was a Clydesdale or a thoroughbred or a Shetland pony. It doesn't matter. The point is what the rider represents.
You step down into dark.
Yep, go.
That was fantastic music. Thank you. We do have some calls. Okay, we want to take calls. So just try to stay on topic, okay? How about 857? 857, what do you got, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
That's Jabo.
Hey, Pastor. Yeah, hey, Pastor Leroy. Hey, Kent, Pastor Kent. I actually Googled a little bit more about history about the Four Horsemen, not the horses. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the horses, but the men who ride the horses or women that ride the horses. But did you know way back in like the 80s that there were 4 men, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, and Tully Blanchard, who didn't ride horses, but what they would do is they would show up to professional wrestling companies and they would completely try to dismantle the roster. And they cheated. They won belts. It wasn't good for professional wrestling.
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you say that, and I'll tell you why. Because if you remember back then, Ric Flair was he was the boss of the Horsemen, and he always wore white trunks. Now they were going with the same Horsemen that were in the movie that I was talking about earlier, and Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, they wore red and black. they were all part of the Horsemen, man. That is actually a really good analogy towards that, because they were the bad guys in WCW, and I remember watching them. I love Ric Flair. I think he's still awesome even to this day.
Yeah. Now, if Ric Flair were a horse, do you think he would be an American quarter horse?
Hello?
Or a Gallonier's cob? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, what the heck?
Can you hear me? Aloha.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, Josh. We got a Josh on 909. Josh, what do you got, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jay, man. Yeah, J-Bo was bringing a good topic on the Four Horsemen, and I remember Ric Flair. I went to one of his wrestling gigs, and he was really good. And after the show, we had a couple of beers, and we sat there, and then I went back and I sucked his cock.
All right. Well, you're gone. Thanks, Josh. We appreciate you calling in, man. Actually, I'm not sure if I appreciate that call or not.
No.
So if Ric Flair were a horse, do you think he would be a Gallonier's cob or an American quarter horse?
Again, why? You guys are notorious for doing this. Okay? I go in there, preach about something, and you twist and twangle it, to what you want. I remember when I preached on the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You said, what kind of tree is it? Seriously, really. Let me say this very clearly. And so grade oneer can understand this. It is not about the horse. I appreciate those that called tonight. I'm sorry we had some shenanigan players. I guess that happens on my radio.
Well, you know what?
Well,
J-Bo is actually a really good caller, and I think he was just trying to reiterate some things that were part of the movie. I don't know, but he is my friend, and I'm sorry for that tonight, Pastor Kent.
Well, we're going to get that shenanigan players live radio. You're going to get that. I apologize to the audience. I want to thank those that came tonight. Ashley, Tony, Jay, Gavin, Mike. Mike was here for a while. And I appreciate you all. I do appreciate that. No, I'll try it. 317, who's this? You're on the air with the panel.
Hello, this is Eugene. I got hung up on. I don't know what happened.
Because you were rude. Bye-bye. So,
okay. So on that note, we're gonna say goodnight. We got about 9 minutes left in the show. I got a closing song, which has been our closing song for the past few days. We'll have the full panel tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Father's House. Pastor Kent, I'm sorry for the calls tonight that upset you. I don't want you upset.
Don't worry about it.
I try to keep you calm. I don't want you to have a stroke or anything like that. So I try to keep you calm, Pastor Kent. I know your birthday's coming up soon, and we're going to have a big birthday celebration on Sunday night for Pastor Kent. So make sure you join us for that at 5 p.m. That'll be a 2-hour show on Sunday night, the 26th, one day before Pastor Kent turns 58. Pastor Kent, do you have anything else you want to say before we go to our final song of the evening?
Actually, my birthday's on Tuesday. It's actually on the 28th. But
I thought it was the 27th. I'm sorry about that, my friend. I thought it was Monday.
It's on Tuesday. It's the 28th.
share this message with your fellow friends and family. Let them come in and join the conversation. If you have any prayer that you need a prayer for, call. Tomorrow is a prayer night. It's all about the prayers. And I'm going to be talking briefly on Matthew chapter 9, where it says how to pray. So before we put the song on, we're going to have a word of prayer. Father, I thank you for bringing us here, for keeping us safe and sound. Help us as we go our separate ways to bring us back tomorrow for prayer line. We ask this in your precious name, Yeshua. Amen. We want to wish you all a great night, and we will see you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy our song. We'll see you tomorrow.